Usyk next for AJ? Let's jump into it, guys. Anthony Joshua could likely be taking on Oleksandr Usyk next as WBO mandatory after wrapping up Pulev first in his IBF mandatory. Like, subscribe, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button. Drop your comments in the comment section below. What do you think about Joshua taking on Usyk? Man just beat Pulev. Now he's got to go on to the next mandatory potentially and fight Oleksandr Usyk. Usyk saying, listen, WBO is saying, listen, we've given you time. We let you fight Ruiz twice. We let you fight Pulev. Give us our shot. Oleksandr Usyk demanding he wants his title shot, saying that he's not taking no step aside. He wants these co-promoters saying we want our fight now. Talking about he's going to impose the delay on the undisputed title fight with Tyson Fury. What do you guys think? Do you guys want to see Anthony Joshua versus Oleksandr Usyk, or do you just want Joshua to roll off and go fight Tyson Fury? Because the way it's looking now, Anthony Joshua's likely going to have to take on Oleksandr Usyk because the WBO has been giving them time. Like, to be honest, the WBO of all the sanctioning bodies, they've been lying them because Joshua hasn't had to fight a mandatory since fighting Joseph Parker. Let's jump into the comments of Oleksandr Usyk's co-promoter. He says, though everyone wants to see AJ fighting Fury, I don't think this fight is likely to happen soon. He also went on to say Usyk is Anthony Joshua's mandatory challenger, so he could impose his status to delay the undisputed fight with Tyson Fury. So, it's very likely, the way I'm looking at things, that this is very much likely to happen. Usyk's promoter also said this is the WBO who has the power to enforce the champion for the mandatory. Though everyone wants to see AJ fight Fury, I don't think this fight is likely to happen soon. Did he say any other comments? This is a Sky article, isn't it? Is there anything else? Let's have a look. Nah, that's all his comments from Usyk's co-promoter. But I have a feeling that the WBO is gonna push and they're gonna mandate Anthony Joshua to have to fight Oleksandr Usyk. And if anybody thinks that is not a dead serious roadblock to the undisputed fight actually happen, you guys need to go to Specsavers and have another look. Because Oleksandr Usyk, undisputed cruiserweight champion, he's not a cream puff, he's not a journeyman, he's not a cab driver, he's not an old man like Pulev. This guy can fight. Skills, some people are, drunk on punching power, saying Usyk can't punch, this and the other. That means he can't hang with the big guys. Listen, this guy is a boxing masterman. Masterclass in boxing, skills, shots, angles. This guy, Usyk, can do things that no other heavyweights can do. It's going to be interesting to see how Anthony Joshua deals with Oleksandr Usyk if the fight takes place. And also, mandatories aren't supposed to have rematch clauses, because I believe Pulev had a rematch clause in his contract. I don't think Oleksandr Usyk's team are going to be allowing him to be having no rematch clause in their deal like that. They're going to be saying, listen, fight us with no rematch clause or vacate the titles and we'll go fight Joe Joyce or Parker for the belts for the WBO. Why should a mandatory have to have rematch clause? That's why you want to become a mandatory. So you're not a voluntary, you don't have to have a rematch clause. I don't know why in the hell Pulev even had a rematch clause potentially in his contract. Obviously, they never came out and said it for definite, but rumors going around that Pulev actually had a rematch clause in his deal. But before I go delving off into the topics of whether you should have rematch clauses or not, focusing on Joshua Usyk. Everybody wants to see Anthony Joshua versus Tyson, but Joshua's probably gonna have to take care of Usyk first. Tyson Fury, he's still mediating with Deontay Wilder on their trilogy. So if the way things are going, you might have a situation where Joshua's got to deal with a fighter in Usyk, which is no foregone conclusion, and Tyson Fury is going to have to deal with Deontay Wilder, which is definitely not a foregone conclusion with that kind of punching power. So, we have to wait and see what happens with this one. But at the moment, not much news on, from these quarters. We haven't heard too much from the WBO. I think I did see something on another website talking about the WBO was saying, I don't know if it was the WBO or someone made a comment talking about, how the WBO is giving, Joshua so much opportunities not to have to fight mandatories and stuff. But there's a very likely that they're not going to budge when it comes to this Usyk fight. And considering Usyk is not like one of these anyhow fighters. He's a proper contender coming up from cruiserweight division. They regard him as the super champion, where you come up from cruiserweight division, and if you're the champion for the WBO at cruiserweight, you're automatically mandatory for the higher divisions WBO equivalent. So I think the WBO are going to enforce this Usyk fight on Anthony Joshua, and Eddie Hearn's going to have to get to work to make this, because he's got Usyk in his stable as well. He's going to have to get to work, get this fight done, and let's see what happens, because for this fight, Joshua Usyk, it's not a foregone conclusion. Usyk is very elusive fighter, skills, fast hands, good feet, technically very gifted, and people saying he hasn't got punching power. Go and see what he did to Derek Chisora, unloading shots. He said at the back end of fights, he tends to turn on the heat, and once he starts getting to your chin, you start to see the accumulation of shots starts to wear you down. And someone like Joshua, like we've seen before, with stamina problems, Usyk's gonna get him moving, and you never know what's gonna happen in a fight like that. Could we have a scenario where Usyk gets Joshua's belts, then Usyk's taking on Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder? Heavyweight boxing is so unpredictable. Drop your comments in the comment section below. What do you think about what I've said? What do you think? Not too much information coming about this so far, but there's buzzing info talking about Usyk could be forced to be mandatory for AJ for the WBO. Drop your comments, like, subscribe, share this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button, do all that good stuff. Don't be the shadow watcher. Join the KBV boxing community. Do all that good stuff. Cool.